Hey Bikeaholics, Ryan Urlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. Thanks for checking in today's video. We're gonna change out the cam cover, and we're basically doing a bunch of black stuff on this bike, changing it out. Don't forget, we've got other videos on the transmission top and side covers. We changed out a primary cover and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just search the YouTube channel or the website. But anyways, this is the black one. We're gonna get it on right here, so let's get wrenching, huh? All right, and so what Chewy's working on first is we're gonna get this floorboard out of the way, because we gotta get the exhaust out of the way too, so we can access all the bolts that we need. That's just a 5/16 Allen that he's working with there, and a 9/16 wrench on the back. Just your front floorboard support. Of course, we're gonna remove front and back. All right, he's just removing that back floorboard support now. Same 5/16 Allen. And there we go, that gets our floorboard up out of the way. All right, and you can see we're just working on getting rid of the heat shields. We're gonna have to take the heat shields off here, because eventually we're gonna have to get this exhaust out of the way, and we can't get up and get the header bolts where they bolt onto the headers with this heat shield in the way, so just using a nut driver. These clamps are all the way around, of course, different areas on heat shields depending on what kind of, this is a different exhaust, of course. It's not stock. So just find your clamps and get them all loose and undone so we can do the heat shields. He's going to move down to another one underneath there. All right, and with that, he's got both those loose. I can back this front header heat shield off anyways. All right, as you can see, he's working on the back header heat shield now. Same thing, just clamps. All right, and with those clamps removed, you can get that heat shield off. Now we'll have access with these headers, as you can see, to get up in there and get at these bolts and stuff. All right, we're just getting rid of the saddlebags now, both sides, 2/4 turn pins, of course. Get those on out of your way, because we're going to need to access the top of these mufflers. And right on top, there's some bolts there that we're going to need to get at. All right, with a 1/2-inch socket, he's taking off both these top, this muffler bracket. And I think I said take off both saddlebags. Of course, we don't need to for this project. We just need access to this right muffler. And that's going to get things loosened up, because of course, we've got another clamp up underneath here we're going to show you in a sec. And then we'll take the header bolts off up at the motor there, so we can get this exhaust all the way off and out of our way. All right, next he's putting, getting this crossover. Basically, he's unbolting that so his exhaust crosses over underneath, just because we want to separate this. Believe it or not, this is Screaming Eagle exhaust, and it's using a 15mm metric socket, guys, on a Harley. Yep, seeing more and more of that these days. All right, and we're going to get the muffler off too, just so the whole system's not so awkward to work with. Again, there's just a clamp there you can see he's working on. That'll allow us to get this muffler off. All right, and you can squirt a little lube up in the, in the connection there. Otherwise, you kind of got to just twist and turn a little bit. And just depends how long they've been on, but you can see he's getting it there. There you go. Just twist them, turn them, and yank them a little bit. But lubrication does help, especially if they've been on a long time. All right, so first they're 1/2-inch, guys, and there's your headers, header pipes right where they bolt to the motor. And there's 2 of them, and of course that ring, the flange there and all that. So he's going to be working on this right now with his socket, getting both those out. And the other underside one, you tend to have to use a box end wrench on, but really that's up to you. Just got to get both these backed off. All right, so sometimes on this front head pipe, the underside nut, he's standing on that side of the bike, of course, and then I can show you up in here. Sometimes it's easier to work up in there if you're standing on that side of the bike, and you can see what he's working on up there. And it's hard to get a socket in there. Sometimes you just have that one, you kind of just have to use a wrench, take it on and off till you can get it backed out. There we go. It looks like he's got it loose enough he can get it off with his fingers. All right, Chewy's just finishing that other front header nut there, and then we can move to the back ones. All right, moving on to the back header, of course, 1/2-inch. And same thing, on this one's a little easier. You can get a socket on both of them. Pretty simple. Get both those backed out. And this other one on the bottom side, of course, looks like Chewy putting a little extension on. That helps get it off a little quicker. All right, and last, everything's pretty much loose. except there is a clamp down in here, guys, or it's basically a bracket, support bracket. You can see the top of it there. It's kind of a flat type top bolt. Well, and then we got to go underneath. When you go underneath, there's an actual bolt up underneath there that he's going to be working at. You can kind of see it hanging out there. All right, and so with the 9/16 socket, he's working on that, undoing the bottom of that clamp. The trick to this, guys, is because it's a flat type head on the top, it's going to start spinning on you. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. If you want to make sure that content and these free videos keep coming your way, there is a way you can support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. The community is growing over there. We'd like to have you involved too. There's no risk over there. You can sign up for a certain level and pay a certain amount per piece of content with a cap. Absolutely no risk. There are some benefits over there. T-shirts and a private Facebook group and some premium content. All depends on what level you sign up as. But that is a way that you can assure the content keeps coming your way. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Of course, if you ever want to just leave a flat donation, we do accept that too and appreciate it. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Don't forget to check out that weekly podcast, guys. It's on fire. Ton of content we're putting out. Get involved over there. It's the Law Abiding Biker podcast. All right, let's get back into your video. So what we're doing here, guys, this is a little trick. He's underneath, of course, and like I said, this tends to spin in there. And so a little trick to keep that down is I just put my screwdriver in and I pry up on the bottom of that house, and that keeps that pushed down for him. I'm just using leverage so that it's not popping up and spinning on him, and you can get that nut off the bottom. All right, and with everything loose, you just kind of got to manipulate this a little bit. Or another little trick, just takes time sometimes. Just depends how long it's been on, but he's just working on that back one. Just work with a screwdriver and get those little metal flanges. You can see this front one. We've popped it loose from the studs. You can get a screwdriver. That's what he's doing. Just give us a little extra ease of getting these headers off. And now you can see we've got those flanges down around the pipes, completely off basically. And that's going to help free everything up, as you can see. There we go, header system off. Okay, and so you can see up in there, the front header, of course, give you what we're looking at here. You can see up in there, you can reuse these gaskets if you want. Some guys think every time you take your headers off, you got to put a new gasket. You certainly could. They're those kind of crushed type gaskets, so that is crushed up in there real good. And we're just going to go ahead and reuse it this time. But certainly, if you're doing this project, or you know the possibility is an exhaust leak, which you wouldn't want, but I've reused these. We know this has only been used once when they were originally put on, and again, I've reused them and had no problem. So that's what we're going to do in case you're wondering on the exhaust gasket there. All right, guys, and pretty basic. Just go around. There's a bunch of different bolts, as you can see, all the way around 3/16 Allen. And that's what he's going around and doing right now, is backing them all out. Now, he's going to put an oil pan under here too, because when we do break this seal, we're going to lose some oil. So before he actually breaks the seal and gets them all the way out, we'll put an oil pan there. Okay, so what you guys want to do here is he's got one bolt in just a little bit, just because when he does break this seal a little bit, we don't want the cam cover to just go flying, of course. Once we break the seal, it'll leak a little bit, and then we can pull that other bolt out. And you can see he broke the seal there, and he's losing oil down there. That's the way it's going to happen. And now he can pull that other bolt out. All right, other bolts out. You can back that whole thing out. Of course, we got a new gasket for this, guys, so we did lose some oil. Don't forget, we'll have to top our engine off with oil because we did lose some. Do not forget to do that at the end of the project. So with a Torx wrench T20, just taking those bolts out. Looks like there's 5 of them because we need those bolts for this project. You can put new little covers on. They call it timing covers and stuff. Because over here in this project, we're going to put a different, you can see right there, this is our black timing cover. We actually have another black one to put in, but we need those bolts. So that's what he's doing. All right, and there's his new cam cover. Just make sure you're whatever timing cover you're putting over there, that it's orientated right, but he's just putting those 5 little Torx 20 screws back in. Pretty simple. All right, he's putting his new cam cover on, his gloss black one here, and he's just going to finger start all these bolts at this point. And we're just kind of going to get them all in. Now there is a sequence and a pattern we're going to show you guys in a second on how to tighten these down, but for now, just get them all started. All right, guys, so there's a very specific, now we've got all these seated, basically just, you know, as far as we can in without actually tightening them. Now the sequence is, we're going to do it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, guys, and that is the way that they want them tightened. And it is 90 to 120 on this particular bike, 90 to 120 inch-pounds if you want to get a torque wrench out and do that. And we suggest you do that if you've never done it before. We know about how tight, so we're just going to do it by hand, but certainly you could torque wrench them if you'd like. So that's what he's going to be working on now. And that is exactly what Chewy's doing, is going around and tightening these down. Of course, he's very specifically following the pattern. The reason you wouldn't want to just go around and clockwise or counterclockwise, guys, is because you would, it wouldn't seat level, basically. So, you know, that's why they do this, is so that you make sure and get even pressure on that gasket and everything as you're going around. All right, guys, there you go. Nice shiny black cam cover. It's just a cam cover replacement, guys. Do not forget to top your, check your oil, because we lost some out of there. Make sure your oil levels are good. And of course, now we just got to put the exhaust back on, just like we took it off in the reverse order. Get the header system back on and the muffler, and we'll be good to go. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you are really missing out. We have a ton of videos in the works for you guys, so get subscribed. Also sign up for the free email club, lawabidingbiker.com/email club. We will shoot you an email when we come out with new free videos. Also, do not forget to check out that weekly podcast. It's the Law Abiding Biker Podcast. It's heard worldwide. All right, peace out.